Hi, this is Monica Flannery. Welcome to Serenity RN. I'm thinking maybe I need to change my channel to Mama Mon. That's my, my other nickname that I go by. Today, I wanted to share a resource that I started with on my journey with chronic pain and how I used it to change my mental mindset and focus. Doing a lot of videos, and I believe that the starting point for any kind of challenges, health challenges, or any type of challenges begins with developing a ninja focus. I learned this from watching my daughter too. She is very, very determined. Um, Thank you, Lauren. And we all share, I think, some of these genetic qualities. Because when you go through challenges, what's amazing to me is how much emphasis there is for things to be easy, right? And everybody wants things to just be given to them and easy. But myself and my children included, we've all had really very insightful discussions where we each said that without our challenges, we wouldn't change anything because it has really propelled who we are, and the strength, the tenacity, and all these wonderful qualities that takes grit, I think, to develop. We don't get these the strong fortitude we need if things are always easy. So, I invite you, if you're going through challenges, I changed my mindset and I would do mental gymnastics. So when I was at my lowest point, I would dig, dig, dig and look for the gift. And we're in the middle of a big storm, so I'm not sure if that's going to come through or not. But dig for the gift. And if you look hard enough, you will find that there is a message that you can learn to create your own transformation, something that brings qualities that you didn't know you had inside of you. So if you're going through a transformation, look for the gift and the message, and I would almost guarantee that there is a message there, and it's something that you are developing into a greater resource that you just aren't able to see at this point. Okay, so I shared in a previous video about my journey with chronic pain. I've not talked about that for a long time. If I'm on any social media, I don't really emphasize on that because I don't want to keep myself in a lower vibration of not feeling good and holding on to that pain vibration because it's down here, right? I want my vibration to be up here. So I'm constantly looking for ways to bring my brain to a higher level and taking myself away from discomfort. And this is where I've learned to bring in lots of holistic modalities. And it's all starts with creating a ninja mindset. It's an intention. What is the intention that I want to hold for my highest and best healing, for my highest and best outcome right now? Forget whatever's in the past. That's done. Done. Leave it. That's the hardest thing to do, right? Let go. We want to attach and hold on to things from our past, and then we can, as long as we keep holding on and wanting to blame or hold on to things, and it just feeds on a lower part of ourselves. If we let it go, we can move into a greater sense of authority. We get to create who we want to be, what we think. It's a whole nother vibration. Okay, so my journey began when I decided to take this course, Full Catastrophe Living, right? So before I took this class, I trained myself in programming, social media, all these different sites. I've created them all myself. Um, I don't think I'm one that's supposed to achieve, success. My journey is to move through the transformation, and I think just share um, how I've done that, and how other people can do this as well. Because when I'm like, I have ADD, and I've always been like a square peg trying to fit in that round hole, and it just never fit. Sometimes I'm too honest, and I've had to really learn to squelch and learn how to have a lot of peace and ease and grace to be able to, uh, put the truth out there in a way that other people feel comfortable in hearing, which is kind of sad, And I'm seeing that a lot these days. People don't want to hear different points of view. And how sad is that? That we can't share in all this wealth of information and ways of thinking that can enrich our lives and offer us so much more than what we have by ourselves. So another tangent. So getting back on track here. With chronic pain, what I found in the beginning was I needed to distract myself, anything to be out of my body. I did not want to be in my body. I didn't want to feel anything in my body because it was just, it was a lot of depression, right? Frustration, sadness. And then even with the sadness, I couldn't allow myself to be in that sad state and feel those emotions, because that would create even more. If I cried, right, this would swell up, and it was very intense. So I had to block myself from expressing sadness, because it ignited and it created more pain. So I learned to distract myself. I was the queen of distraction, probably always have been. So I would be on the computer for hours and hours and hours, and constantly a lot of brain work. And then I learned how to do brain gymnastics, right? How to take your mind, and I could bring my mind wherever I wanted to. So I learned how to think like a ninja, right? Bring your brain to where you want to be. If you're uncomfortable in your body, you have to take it elsewhere. I did that for years, and then realized I lost my voice. I had agoraphobia. I could not leave the house. When I did, usually being around people created a lot of pain, which is stressful for me because I love being around people. I love connecting with people. I love watching how people think and process. I feel their emotions. I'm an empath, right? So these were all different challenges, and I'm not alone in this. All of us are having these health challenges, but how do we deal with them in a way that brings us out of that lower state of vibration of feeling in that pain level? And how do we bring us to a highest state of healing? And it all begins here. So there's stages in healing. That was my first stage that I really need to learn how to do, right? Develop that ninja mind focus. But then when I realized I lost my voice, I lost myself, I lost who I was, right? And then I found Full Catastrophe Living, which taught me about meditation and how to start actually moving into my body and starting to just sit with it and accepting what was going on in my body and actually make friends with the areas that were so painful. And how could I bring more comfort to these areas instead of trying to ignore it? I learned to have like a more friendly relationship with my body, because I had to learn to listen what was my energy levels, what was my threshold, what were my triggers, and all this you learn by journaling, right? So if you have struggles going on, I always recommend to start journaling because it'll tell a story, and then you'll start to learn what's good for your body, what your body responds to, what pushes your body past the threshold, knowing what your limits are. These are all very important. Of course, we want to bring it to the highest level. So finding modalities that will improve our quality of health, and no matter what area that is. So meditation is very crucial in developing that higher mental state, and also it helps you to start tuning into that spiritual intuitive guide that we all have that we're not taught to listen to. We've been taught to squelch the inner voice. As I see that, I can see sparks going off, but the inner voice that speaks to us, but we always squelch it because we're taught not to give ourselves permission in that knowing, and starting to really go inward. Take time to go inward and find what it is that we need for healing, for our goals, where you fit into that square hole, right? That square shape, and not try to fit into the round hole, because that's just, you need to find where your gifts are appreciated and where you can feel supported so that you can express more of who you are. And a lot of people having these challenges now, we're having these challenges for a reason. And it's to help people develop these inner transformational tools, and then to share this, right? A lot of people are having very spiritual, intuitive knowings that other people just cannot relate to. But how do you share that and get people to learn to be more comfortable in listening to these little intuitive hits, right? So it's learning to be open to all different ways of healing. So I'm going to finish up with the whole purpose of this chat is, after years of doing all this, last summer, bringing all these different things together, they're all tying in together, even intention. So I was taking painting classes, right? And, with my life and transformations and many challenges and hurdles, I really can resonate with the Phoenix, and so many of us do, right? So I felt called to paint the Phoenix. I'm going to show you that picture in 1 minute. Okay, so I wanted to paint. I found this woman who's very spiritual. She was actually a nun, and she teaches painting, and she just has a very unique way of helping you bring out your inner light into the painting. So she helped me bring this creation to life. I wanted to paint the Phoenix, and then I looked at the picture and I said, look at that Phoenix. Usually they're coming up out of the fire. This one's diving right in, right? So creative art is another way of therapy. Wonderful. So many things are coming through in my paintings. It's really amazing. It helps you connect with your intuition, I think, too. Not just that's a great way to express yourself and find your inner voice and let it out. Okay, so I'm going to put this down. That's my Phoenix. So after I painted this, we were out on the road picking up, I don't know, we went to pick up a vehicle. My husband likes to switch out vehicles. So we were, a couple states out and going to pick up a vehicle. And I had some mild medication that I took, and had it a few times before, and I was fine. And I'm driving behind him, and all of a sudden I start itching and having this allergic reaction. But I'm very good in a crisis, so I stay very calm. You know, I use all these tools, and they really, when I have a crisis, the tools come automatically, and that's the whole purpose of this video, is when we use the meditation, the intentions, and a daily practice, and really create this mental discipline when you need it, when you're in a crisis, it just pops right into place, and you have your tools when you need them. So I'm inviting you to really work on using these tools, because they come in so handy. So I'm having this allergic reaction, and my body starts to heat up. I'm itching. Okay, I can handle that, right? And then all of a sudden I'm starting to feel like I'm on fire, and I'm driving. So I call up my husband, and I said, I think I might be having a problem. This is how I handle it, right? Okay. And he's like, what's going on? Well, I think I'm having an allergic reaction. He says, well, are you okay? And I said, yeah. And he says, well, stay on the phone with me. I said, okay. So he says, how you doing? Well, I think my tongue is starting to slow up, right? And then good thing he stayed on the phone with me, and I'm staying calm, and here he starts stressing out. So he's like, okay, we got to get off at the next exit. Okay. I'm like, I need Benadryl. He's like, what? I need Benadryl. Benadryl, right? First thing I could think of as a nurse, Benadryl, stat, lots of Benadryl. Okay, so we stop at a gas station, and he's saying Benadryl, and the guy's like, what? And he's like, I need Benadryl. And the guy's like, what? Because he's frantic and he's not calm. So it's like it makes people chaotic. When you lose your calm state, this energy radiates out, and then everyone panics. So I don't know, I've learned how to keep that cool, calm, because it's more effective by using these tools. So then everyone in the store is saying, he needs Benadryl. So the guy throws Benadryl at him, and he throws his money at him. He comes out and he gives me Benadryl. I'm like, okay. And then there's someone, and we're in a state, right? We're like 2 states over. We don't know where anything is. We just happen to find this store within minutes, few minutes, because of course that was progressing pretty quickly. When your tongue's swelling, the next thing is your airway's going to shut off, right? So that's like life-threatening. So there's a woman sitting right there, and he goes, we need to get to a hospital. Where's the hospital? It's like 10 minutes down the road. She tells him exactly where it is. He gets in the car, drives, and I'm thinking, I don't know which is worse. Am I going to make it to the hospital in one piece, or am I going to stop breathing? It's like, now I'm starting to panic, because he's driving like a madman. He's going through lights, and I'm like, oh my. Okay, so I'm like, okay, he's in charge. He's driving me. The hospital's there. I just stay in my peaceful place. I just need to breathe, right? Peace and ease. I go back again to my mantra, peace and ease. I just kept doing the deep breaths, just like in meditation. I get in there. He takes care of everything, to do the paperwork. And then my whole body, it was the Phoenix moment. My whole body was on fire. They gave me so many steroids, and lots of steroids after that to follow up, which has its own set of side effects, which we will go into in another video, because they give these steroids out like candy and never tell you how to bring yourself back in balance. It really can deplete your adrenals and your energy cycles. So very important to know these things. Okay, back. back to the story. Get centered here. So I'm in there, I'm having this Phoenix moment, right? And even my insides are like, I just feel like my whole body is on fire. And it was very intense. And then I had so much Benadryl, I don't know, 100 milligrams probably. And I'm very sensitive. 25 knocks me out, so I had 100. And then finally, you know, all my vitals were stable. You know, I'm not itching anymore. The swelling's going down. My tongue, I could speak again. My tongue, you know, gets back to normal state. Then they decided to discharge me, and he's not there. He's out to pick up this vehicle because he figured they're probably going to keep me overnight. So they're like, okay, you're discharged. I'm like, I have my car there. I'm discharged, and I'm waiting for him. And I'm like, I can't even keep my eyes open. Crazy, crazy. But through the whole event, right, I realized that when I stayed calm and I used all these mental ninja focus tools throughout this crisis, right, which was life-threatening, that everything was, I was being directed and guided the whole time. And afterwards, I was just so grateful for having my intuition and all these guides and everything. And the more I believe it, the more I work with this, the more available they are for me, as long as I stay in this state of reception, right? So divinely guided. Everyone was where, you know, they needed to be, perfect timing, best outcome. And then I shared this with my minister, right, Reverend Marcia, and she goes, Monica, why in the world would you paint the Phoenix? Don't you know that you created that with your intention? And I was like, right? And she's right. But I felt compelled that I needed to paint this Phoenix. I guess I had to go through this transformation once again, because I've had numerous transformations, and show myself that through any crisis, you know, as long as you have your mental focus and your faith and your belief, and you really work with all these tools, everything's divinely guided and fully supported. It's just an amazing process. And when I didn't give in to the fear, because when I become fearful, I'm quite scary, actually. So I've learned to let go of that Leo part of me that wants to control and fight back, and yeah. And then my personality really is a Cancer, so I learned to relinquish the fiery Leo to the watery Cancer and go with the flow, and learning how to have this balance of when to have the fire and when to be in touch with the emotions, and how to keep it all in a balanced ebb and flow. So I'll leave you on that note. Pay attention to your mindset, journal, and really start getting to know your body. If you have any challenges, you can always email me at serenityfirst@gmail.com. I would love to have more interaction on these videos. People are starting to message me, and so I know you're watching the videos. If you like, I would really appreciate that, so I know which ones to make more of and what you're interested in, okay? And this is my way of coming back out of my shell and sharing how all these different tools that I've used, and hopefully they can help someone else, because I see a lot of people that are struggling right now, and there is a way to find peace and ease throughout our challenges, and support is so very important. That was the final thing. I needed to be able to step out from my place of feeling I had to figure it all out, keep it all in, always look in control and not share, and step into that vulnerable place. And once I stepped out, the support is all right there. So I see peace and ease in every cell of your body, right here, right now. Namaste. Let me know any way that I can support you.